Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sixer Sense podcast. I'm your host, Lucas, with Chris. And Chris, we are done with our positional big boards. We are going to review one of your old big boards, but first, it is Friday night, and this is after Sixers Media Day. And gosh, there's a lot to talk about, right, Chris? Some good, some bad, some stuff that makes you want to cry, but not in the good way.
Yeah, Lucas, we're back. Season's right around the corner. Sixers things are happening, many of them not great, as you alluded to. Got a lot to talk about today, a lot of interesting quotes. We'll just jump right in. We'll start with a quote from Joel Embiid, Lucas, talking about VJ Edgecombe, because we like VJ Edgecombe, and
Yes.
let's start on a nice note.
Mm-hmm.
He said, quote, "I like his background. He reminds me of myself coming from another country. He's an amazing kid." There was a lot of VJ praise thrown around today. If we're looking for positives, I think that's really the main takeaway.
Yeah.
Tyrese, Daryl, everyone had really nice things to say about VJ. We'll get to something Nick Nurse said later.
I was about to say, yeah, I saw, I mean, it's not on your list here, but it does, Nick Nurse did also mention that he's going to play some 1 and some 3 at some point, so we're going to see him everywhere.
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right. VJ is like the bright spot here. Now to the rest of the stuff that's not a bright spot.
Yeah, all right. Joel spoke pretty openly about his knee situation. I think we all knew it would not be as simple as, hey, I'm ready to go. We've all seen the video clips from the Sixers social media page at this point. We've all seen the pictures. He looks slimmed down. Seems like he's really taking things seriously, as we all knew he would. But he said, quote, "I think going forward, we're just going to listen to the body. I'll be honest and say it's going to be unpredictable at times, and that's okay. We're going to work with that." So, Lucas, what were your takeaways from what Joel said about his knee, and how good do you feel about him being available for the majority of this season?
You know, he had more to say than that, but that's pretty much what I expected to hear based off the article. And, he talked about the article a little bit. But the other thing that we didn't quote here, and I'm paraphrasing here, so don't aggregate me. But he said something along the line of, when he's talking about being available, he wants to be able to go 100%. He talked about how some players take off on offense and focus on defense. Some players focus on offense and take off on defense. He said he didn't want to be the type of player that takes off on defense and just focuses on the offense, which is a good thing. But he didn't rule out the idea of taking off on offense to focus on defense, which I think, honestly, as somebody that wants to, how are you going to mature your game? How are you going to reserve yourself? Because at this point, we need to start talking about that, whether he wants to or not. He would prefer to be, a two-way player. But if you're going to be a one-way player, I think we all agree that focusing on defense would be the more appropriate thing for what's best for the team.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, Joel is one of the great offensive players of all time.
And I'm not saying that he can't still be effective offensively. It's just he's not going to be the Holcomb of the offense anymore.
I still think that's the only way this team wins a championship. With all due respect to Tyrese Maxey, like, Joel's the only guy on that level when he's healthy. So I might disagree with you a little bit on that one. I think clearly he wants to give 100% on both ends.
Yes, yeah.
Shams had a quote about how Joel is basically going to need to learn how to play through discomfort. That this isn't just going to be a clean, easy solution. That seems pretty much on track with everything we know at this point. So yeah, I'll just go straight to Daryl's quote. He was asked about the timeline for Joel and Paul George. This is what he said. Quote, "This is straight from the doctors. We're not getting into the expectations game. The doctor's advice, what Joel said about listening to his body, that's going to be what carries the day this year." To me, Lucas, this seems like a good approach. I mean, there was so much expectation setting in last season that just was not fulfilled. Clearly, there was some tension between Joel and the front office on how exactly to handle his recovery. We know that Joel wanted to take a more substantial and absolute path as far as surgery goes, while the Sixers wanted him out there as much as possible. It seems clear to me that, like, going by the doctor's advice and taking things slowly and day by day essentially is really the only way this is going to work out. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, no clear timeline basically on when Joel will be ready, on when Paul George will be ready. How are you feeling about that?
So this brings me back. So I don't know if everybody follows me on some of my other podcasts, but I'm a part of former Sixer Sense editor Uriah Young. He has his new podcast NBA Now and Then. We actually did a recent interview with Keith Pompey, a friend of the Sixer Sense podcast, of course, and Keith said it and he said it on his own podcast before too when it comes to Joel Embiid's his own podcast Locked On Sixers with Mark Fazretta. And basically he was saying that, we need to figure out a way, like Joel needs to, take some time off, kind of like Kawhi. And this kind of feels like the Kawhi approach from last year. The way that Joel's framing and the way that Morey's framing it, like just don't rush, come back when you're ready, even if that means you miss the first half of the season. And that's kind of what, Keith was alluding to when I've talked to him last too. So that's kind of what I was getting on the vibe here with Joel and Morey and all that. So that's kind of what I got there.
Yeah, that checks out. Again, we all want to see Joel on the floor this year. There's really no way the Sixers contend without him, but you can't really put. I mean, there's going to be any playing time is going to constitute risk. There's no way to avoid risk, but if you can minimize the risk as much as possible and go above and beyond to be safe, that's really the only way to salvage his prime at this point. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to play it safe. We're not going to have a lot of certainty, but it seems this year they're going to work. While we still may have a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty, we're going to at least not have like false expectations foisted upon us. Which
So what you're saying is I should not draft Joel Embiid in the first couple rounds of my fantasy basketball league.
It's
Yeah.
probably wise to avoid that, but
Yeah.
more power to you if that's
No,
the route you
I'm not
decide to
doing
go.
that. No, I don't. I think Tyrese Maxey might be the only Sixer I'm drafting on fantasy this year, if he's available.
I think that's fair.
But speaking of which, we got to talk about Paul George, right?
Yeah, so Paul George was basically asked if he views himself as more of like a mentor veteran type at this point, or if he can still get to the level that we all expected to when he signed a 4-year, $212 million contract. And he said, quote, "I'm the Paul George that the 76ers went out and signed. I do think I still got a lot of game in me playing at a high level." Do you believe him, Lucas?
I believe he believes that. I will say that. I
Yeah.
believe he believes that. Last year we know that he was injured. Let's be clear. He was injured last year. He was playing through injury. That being said, Paul George was not nearly as efficient as a scorer. Definitely looked like he lost a step. I'm glad that he believes that. However, if that comes at the detriment of us winning games, then that's a problem. I'm not going to say he's a veteran mentor yet. That means you're like Kyle Lowry. Shout out to Kyle for his 20th media day, by the way. Craziness. But I think it's more likely here that we're going to be seeing a Paul George kind of, what Tobias Harris is doing in Detroit right now. Detroit loves what Tobias Harris is doing. He's not going crazy. 13.7 rebounds, efficient scoring. Now, I think Paul George can get closer to 17, 18 points per game. But, along those same type of numbers, I think that's what Sixers fans should be more expecting. But look, if he's right, that puts the Sixers in a completely different conversation. But if he's wrong, I mean, that's kind of what we come to expect anyway, right? So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, there's no doubt that he believes that himself. We'll see. I mean, he's hurt again already. Like I said, there's no
Yeah, he's still not
timetable.
coming. Yeah, he might miss the beginning of the season. He's
Yeah,
not the only
so
one.
like the health thing is not going away with PG either, even if it's not quite as like you know chronic as what's going on with Joel. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the next quote here from Tyrese Maxey is another one of the few true bright spots from this media day, Lucas. He said, quote, "We have to come to a point where we are stepping in the right direction every day and we can set a culture. That is the standard we will go by every time. So when the Sixers step on the court, we will play this way. Once we get that, the sky is the limit." There are a lot of like leadership quotes from Tyrese. He's clearly taking on that role more actively. He did it a good amount last year, but
injuries
he's
kind
like,
of, yeah.
he's taken VJ under his wing. He's taken Jared under his wing. He's clearly trying to kind of usher in that mentality every day. We know he's probably the hardest worker on this team, one of the hardest
Mm-hmm.
workers in the NBA. So, what were your thoughts on Tyrese's comment?
This isn't even the one that stuck out to me that he said, but it is great to see because he's right. Outside of that 1.5 year when Jimmy was here, 1.5 the Sixers had a culture since the process. We haven't had a culture. Yeah, we've had great teams, but there hasn't been a standard. And I'm glad that he's recognized that and that he's trying to implement that. That being said, the thing that kind of stuck to me more about was he was asked about Joel and how the culture, how the team would play when Joel's there versus when Joel wasn't there. And he said, now obviously things will, like, and I'm paraphrasing it again, but it was something along the lines of, well, obviously things are going to change a little bit because Joel does so much, like, pool double teams, that type of stuff. But in general speaking, we're going to play the same game the same way, no matter who's on the court. So that makes me think we're going to have a more of a defensive-minded team. And look, I think that's the way to go with this team, right? Is more defense than offense. I mean, look, I know we don't have the greatest supporting cast for that, but the way that Maxey was talking about it, like, you don't, like, obviously you do your best on offense. The team has enough offensive talent. That's not the issue. I think the issue was, focusing on the defensive end. And I think, with Maxey setting this culture, and now whether or not it will be implemented this year is yet to be seen, because we do still have some old guys, some of which are not always known for working the hardest. Drama, what? I don't know. But, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much an offense versus defense thing. Like, this roster is set up to be much better offensively. Like, this is a very guard heavy, fast paced group, especially if in the non Joel lineups. Nick Nurse mentioned playing 4 guard lineups sometimes as a possibility this season. Like, I think the Sixers are still gonna lean pretty heavily on their ability to score the basketball. I think that's the path forward for this
Mm-hmm.
specific iteration of the team. But like last year, they just kind of fell apart when everything went south, and you could tell that the effort wasn't always there. You can tell that guys just sort of mentally checked out, which it was a brutal season. You can't really blame them, but like I think what Maxey is more talking about is just a general sense of like connectivity and effort, and they just need to show up, even if Joel's hurt, even if Paul George is out. The effort needs to be there on both sides of the ball. They need to be tuned into what Nick Nurse is selling them on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I'm really encouraged by Tyrese. He is really like the guiding star of this organization at this point, even if Joel is still the clear best player. Like, Tyrese is stepping up as a leader, and he's really the guy that the young guys especially are going to follow. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to try to be optimistic about the future of this team, it really starts with him. So he deserves a lot of credit on that front. Next quote here, Lucas, is from Daryl Morey talking about the Quentin Grimes situation. He said, quote, "I think we will get to a resolution in the next few days, hopefully. We're excited to bring him back. Quentin's a big part of what we're trying to do now and into the future if we can get things resolved." There's been a lot of reporting these past couple days on Quentin. He wants a contract in the $20 to $25 million annual range for a long-term deal. I think the Sixers' first offer out of the gate was 3 years and $39 million, something along those
Wow.
lines. Uh,
That might be a
so
little bit too low.
yeah, it seems the predominant narrative at this point is that he's either going to sign like a 1-year bigger contract that they can trade, or he's going to take the qualifying offer. Those seem like the two most likely outcomes. But
Mm-hmm.
everything's still on the table, Lucas. What are you kind of expecting from the end of this Quentin Grimes saga?
Uh, Gosh, until that report came out that they didn't even give him an offer until the earlier this week, I was thinking the deal might get done. But the fact that they didn't even offer him a deal until this week. Now, we know that Daryl Morey likes his restricted free agents to set the market, but still, this is a little bit of too much from Morey. I'm gonna say I think he takes a qualifying offer.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
I
if he
know
signed like
Morey
a
wants him
1-year,
there long term, but like actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I think the preferable option if we're gonna go with the 1 year deal is obviously to like sign him for 20 million so you can still trade him. If he picks up the qualifying offer, he has a no trade clause, so that limits your flexibility a pretty substantial amount if you're the
Yeah.
Sixers front office. But yeah, it definitely seems like the qualifying offer is a strong possibility here. I think if you're Quentin, you're kind of weighing like more money versus having a no trade clause, so they don't send you to the middle of nowhere on a bad team. That's probably kind of where his head is at. I'm not going to rule out a longer term contract, but if he wants 20 million a year, I'm pretty skeptical of Philly going that high.
Because
Frankly,
if they tried the trade for the free cap space, the trades aren't there right now. I mean, they were. Let me rephrase here, not to get aggregated. They had sniffed around potential trades for Kelly Oubre and Andre Drummond. They could not, nothing materialized. So now they don't have the cap space because if they give him that, they're in the second apron. Clearly ownership said no second apron for this team, which is fair because we're not really contending. So
yeah,
yeah.
some really interesting revelations about Sixers ownership today that we're not going to get into on the pod, but
Oh, wait a second, I missed that.
yeah, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Oh, okay. Does it have to do with my other team?
Maybe. So Nick Nurse. We'll end on a quote from Nick Nurse about VJ Edgecombe. You mentioned that he said he will play the 1 and the 3 sometimes. They're going to move him around in the lineup. They're going to play 4-guard lineups. We're going to see some run and gun Sixers basketball this season. But Nurse said, quote, he, being VJ, really wanted to work on his shooting after we drafted him, and he's made some great strides there. I think success for him this year is minutes. How many minutes did he play? Because we need to let him play through the ups and downs. I tend to agree with that
Yeah.
stance, Lucas. They need to put him out there on the floor. He's the 3rd overall pick. He's a very talented player, and if you're going to kind of maximize the ceiling on this team, you want VJ to be a big part of it sooner than later.
It
What are
might
your
be
kind of
right away.
expectations out of the
I
gate here?
I think he might start right away because we're about to talk about Jared McCain, his injury. We talked about Quinn Grimes. Do you really want to start a guy on a qualifying offer? No, he's not going to play team ball. He's going to focus on getting his numbers up, which at that point, just play him as a 6th man and let him score and do whatever, right? So I think, with McCain, which we're about to talk about here, I say you start VJ off the bat. He's the 3rd overall pick. Nobody's going to bat an eye if you start the 3rd overall pick right away.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know if we can set it in stone yet.
No, you can't, but you
Um,
should at least consider it.
especially with Paul George out, we're going to get some funky lineups. And Joel probably out to start the year. We're going to get some funky lineups.
Trent Walford, starting
But
power forward.
starting center for all we know. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I don't know if it'll be fun, but it will at least be interesting on some level. But yeah, all right, Lucas. Let's talk about these injuries. You mentioned McCain. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks after going under the knife to get thumb surgery to fix a torn UCL.
So he did get the surgery. I knew that was an option. I wasn't sure if he was getting the surgery or not.
Yeah, so that's official. It's a 4 to 6 week timeline, which means he might only miss a couple weeks of the actual season, which is
Not bad.
probably better than it could have been much worse, but not ideal. I mean, just crap luck. These are like 2 freak tears. If we remember back to when he tore his meniscus, we were all like wondering if he had like a concussion because he had hit his head the game before.
Yeah.
And there was really no indication that he had hurt his knee. They just sort of stumbled upon that. So yeah, just some really bad injury luck to start McCain's career, which is right in keeping with Sixers tradition. So how are you feeling about McCain? And like you said, like, does this just cement VJ as a starter? Let's do this. What do you think is going to be the starting lineup on opening day?
Opening day. So I'm going to rule out Joel and George all automatically. So I think our starting lineup is going to be Maxey, VJ, Kelly. They made a big deal about Trent Walford, so they're going to start Walford, and I think and this might be a hot take here, but I think they're going to want to keep Bona as a bench option, just a high energy bench guy. And I think they're going to start Drummond just because of the veteran stuff. Now, they might not play Drummond starter minutes, but they're going to start him to begin the game.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
Bona's better as a reserve center. He gets beat up by starting centers.
Bona's better across the board. Drummond is not
Doesn't matter. He gets
playable.
beat up against starting centers sometimes.
Drummond
Okay,
is just going to get like run over.
we don't
on
know
people.
what Drummond looks like right now. He might have taken the offseason seriously. He might have. He didn't last year, but he might this year. Who knows?
Kyle Lowry could be in the greatest shape of his life. Who knows?
We're not trying to take shots at Kyle,
yeah,
of course. But shout out, by the way, shout out Kyle. Side note, shout out Kyle for becoming a part-time reporter for Amazon Prime.
No, why we don't want part-time reporters playing for the Sixers, Lucas.
Man, look, I mean, the guy's looking for his future. I give him props on that.
I do think it's funny that he's going to spend half his year recording, like being an analyst on TV, and he wouldn't give his number to VJ Edgecombe.
That's yeah, right. Let's not get into that.
It is what it is. He's earned the number over 20 years.
So look, let me ask you a bigger question. When McCain gets back, does VJ lose his starting spot?
Well, I think that depends on how well VJ plays. I'm going to go a little bit different than you for mine. I think it's going to be Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, and then you can convince me between Kelly or Justin Edwards, and I think they will start Bona. I think they believe in Bona. He played well in Summer League. He's just straight up much better than Drummond at this point.
Well, he didn't look good in Summer League. He did look good in Eurobasket, but he did not look good in Summer League.
He looked pretty good in Summer League. Yeah, I think Bona is going to be better this year. I think he's going to take a step forward. Maybe you're right that they still start Drummond and just play him 15 minutes, but I don't see the point in doing that.
It's a strategy to have Bona primarily match up against backup centers so that he can take advantage of the matchup. That's why.
I guess. I just say play him 35 minutes and see what happens. But
we'll see.
They
still can play him 35 minutes.
We're going to go with some guard. When Joel's out, you're kind of thin on options. But, I think we're going to see a lot of guard-heavy lineups. That was, I think, not so subtly hinted at from Nick Nurse. So I don't think he's going to shy away from starting Quentin and VJ and Maxey.
I mean, there's a possibility there.
Especially if they pay Quentin, they're going to want to use him. So those are your best players. You put them on the floor and see what happens.
I suppose. I guess if Quinn does come back on more than just a qualifying offer, he is probably going to. And Joel and George aren't ready to start the season. He's going to be your second best scorer. So I get that.
Who?
Grimes.
Okay. Yeah. I think Kelly probably starts over Justin, but
I just don't see them starting Kelly at the 4. Not with not if he's the only other wing there. Look, I think Kelly's best position with Paul George is playing the 4 versus the 3, but I don't know. That feels really small.
Watford is not a rebounder. You know what I mean?
Jabari Walker, please.
Watford's not going to crash the glass a ton. He's not really a better defender than Kelly. I think you probably still start Kelly. Maybe you start Watford because he's Maxey's best friend and you're
trying to make him feel better.
But
yeah, I mean, look, I think the power forward job. I think outside of Paul George, the power forward job is wide open. The backup minutes are wide open for everybody. That's what it feels like. So for who's the hot hand, it might even just be the hot hand, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
we mentioned earlier that Joel and Paul George don't have a clear timetable to return. Lucas,
yeah,
George isn't going to be a full participant in training camp. What's your concern level at this point going into the season? 1 to 10, how much are you sweating?
I mean, are you allowed to be concerned if you kind of expected it to happen? I mean, look, what do you want me to say? Oh my gosh, Joel Embiid, Paul George are still recovering from their injuries. Oh no, whatever.
I mean, just because we expected it doesn't mean it's not
a
concern.
I think the real question is not when they will come back. It's how the rest of the guys respond, and that goes back to Maxey's thing about culture. Can they stay around 500 without one or both of those guys? I think we both agree that that's probably a no. But if they can somehow squeak it out. And I'll also say this. Nick Nurse is not the best at getting the best out of his role players. At least Doc Rivers could have made it more interesting. Just saying. because Doc Rivers can do more with less.
Well, he'll have to do that this season.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
see.
he will. Yeah, he will. But yeah, no, in terms of like concern, look, Joel looks like he's in the best shape of his life. Paul George is overly optimistic. And I think Paul George said in a quote that recently, and I don't know if it was at Media Day or not, but he said something along the lines of, look, everything's going according to plan. Hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later when I get back.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look, I don't know, man. I'm kind of just numb to it a little bit. You know what? I feel like New York Giants fans. That's what I feel like. And
Yeah.
Mal, shout out to Mal, my other co-host for 14 Rings and NFC East podcast. I know you're going through it, girl.
Jackson Dart Week, guys.
Jackson Dart Week, yes. The
luck
last
to him.
hope, a new hope. Even though he does this Darth Vader
stuff. He's going to need some hope behind that offensive line.
They only gave up 2 sacks last week, just saying.
Oh, well.
It's not even them. It's the head coach.
Well, yeah. You know, Russ threw for 450 yards a week ago.
That was against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are pretty awful. Anyway,
Cowboys
no offense
are real stinky.
Okay. Anyway, so let's get to the fun part of this pod. Unless you had anything else to add.
Nope. Let's do it.
Yay!
All right, Lucas. We're gonna do your redraftables concept.
Okay. So you gotta state. Let's state your big board first.
Yeah. We're going to go through my 2018 NBA Draft Big Board, the last one that I submitted to the Sixers since a week before the draft. We'll go through my top 14. We'll talk about what I got right and a lot that I got wrong. And then we'll try to reorder it based in reality a little bit. We'll see how that goes. It might get complicated.
Yes.
But all right, Lucas, my number 1 overall prospect in 2018 was Luka Doncic. I think I got that right.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll be honest, I did not get that one right. I'm a big man believer, and I am not a Euro guy believer in general. You were right, Chris. I'm eating
guys.
my crow. I hope you're
one.
happy. So,
okay. Yep, I was. All right, number 2, DeAndre Ayton.
That's as much as I hate to admit it, that is not correct.
Yeah. Number 3, Mohamed Bamba from the University of Texas.
Ooh, I remember how high you were. He's not even in the league this year, is he?
Number 4, Marvin Bagley Jr.
He's still in the league, I think.
Marvin Bagley III, pardon me.
Yeah.
From the University or Duke University. Number 5, from Michigan State, Jaren Jackson Jr. Should have been higher. 6, from Duke, Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, probably a little bit lower.
Number 7, from Oklahoma, one Trae Young.
Higher.
Yep. Number 8, from Missouri, Michael Porter Jr.
That's a tough one. Probably lower, but how much of that is injury, though? I mean, we don't even know what he's going to look like this year. He might just come and shock everybody, despite his terrible social media presence.
Yeah, Porter has been saying way too much in front of cameras this summer. Number 9, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Definitely too low.
Point guard. I would say that was higher than a lot of people had him, though, so I feel okay about that. Number 10, from the University of Miami in Florida. Can you guess this one, Lucas?
Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker, the 4th.
Terrible.
Ex-Sixer. What a guy. All right, number 11. Mikal Bridges out of Villanova.
Should have been a Sixer. Should have been a Sixer.
He was a Sixer for 10 minutes.
How dare you, Brett Brown, the biggest mistake of your career besides calling Jimmy James.
Number 12. Miles Bridges out of Michigan State. All right, we're moving on.
Honestly, though, not a terrible spot for him. He did go 12th in the draft. In
13.
terms of raw skill.
13. Troy Brown Jr. out of Oregon.
Ooh. I think he only lasted, what was it this year? Troy Brown Jr. Troy Brown Jr. lasted, okay, so he did play 6 seasons, but it doesn't feel like he played 6 seasons.
And number 14, Mr. Sesame. Sorry.
Oh no, Chris,
Out
it's
of
too soon.
Texas Tech. Zaire Smith.
So
I
Zaire
was
only
right.
played two
I maintain that
years.
Zaire Smith was a great prospect.
And you think that the
weirdness.
Sesame Seed derailed a whole entire NBA
the weirdness
career?
of being in Philly. If he had gone to any other team, he'd be in the NBA right now. That's my stance on Zaire Smith.
I don't know,
All right,
man.
Lucas, what was my worst mistake here?
All right. I wish you sent me the link so I could actually look at it. Or did you? No, you didn't.
It's in the doc.
Okay, yes, here it is. So let me look at this again. Because I was listening. I think your biggest mistake was... Why does it not want to listen to me?
Slideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can go through some of the next few guys while you're scrolling. At 15, I had Kevin Huerter out of Maryland.
Yeah, not terrible.
16, I had Kentucky's Kevin Knox.
Hold up, do you have this in reverse order on the article?
17, Time Lord. Yes, Lucas, I did. It's a big board. 18, Dante DiVincenzo out of Villanova. At 19,
okay,
I had I had a Kobo.
Kobo.
What a guy.
What a guy.
All right, 19.
I think Mo Bamba was your biggest mistake.
Yeah, Sexton was 19 or was 19, yeah.
That's not. Yeah.
20 was Chandler Hutchinson. Okay.
Chandler Hutchinson, really?
We all thought he was good, okay? I don't know.
I didn't, but okay.
Oh, sure, yeah, you had strong...
He's from Boise State. Who
Chandler
from Boise
Hutchinson
State has actually
opinion,
been good in the NBA? No offense to Boise State.
Oh, please. Ashton Genty went to Boise State.
He's a football player.
Look at what he's doing this year, guys.
He wasn't even like the best mid-major in the first round.
No, he's like isn't very good. It's really the Raiders.
I mean, I was going to say Landry Shamet as like a better mid-major.
Well, yeah. My favorite mid-major is Real Madrid. And
oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, Mo Bamba was your biggest mistake. Mo Bamba. I mean, look, he's not going to be on a roster this year. We former Sixer. Became a backup very quickly after he left Orlando.
A lot of former Sixers in the mix here.
I mean, look, you got to cycle through them, right? Look, I mean, I don't know. You were never a big Kevin Knox fan. I was, but I will eat that crow too.
Yeah, I mean, 16. It was like just I think if I did this, if I had my current brain in 2018, I probably would not have had Kevin Knox as high. Like I don't know if I'm better, but I definitely look at things differently now than I did.
Well, yeah, you grow, and look, you were still like what, going into your freshman year of college? I was like at that
in
point?
high school.
You were still in high
college
school
when I did this one, but
so like, no, don't beat yourself up too much. So let's reorder the big board. Let's reorder the big board, okay?
All right, let's do our best here.
Okay, number one, I think we both agree is Luka, right?
Luka, you could make a case for SGA, but I think you got to go with Luka.
Yeah, it's still Luka. I'm going to put SGA as a solid 2, though. I think Luka and SGA 1 and 2 is fair. All right, so this is where it gets interesting. Number 3. I say Trae Young.
I think it's Trae.
Yeah, I think it's Trae,
you
right?
You can make a case for Jaren.
I don't like Jaren. No. I even hate the idea of him being in the top 5 here, but like it's going to happen.
He's got to be 4. Who else are we putting ahead of him?
Maybe Mikal Bridges.
No, come on, come on. You know that's not right.
We don't want to do DeAnthony Melton. No, I'm joking. DeAnthony was in the draft. I'm just saying. You got to consider.
Yeah.
I forgot that Anthony Simons was in this draft. Yeah. All right. So number 4 is Jaren. Number 5, Mikal. Or do we have anybody else here?
I think it's probably Mikal. I admittedly have not gone through the second round guys yet. There's probably
let me just give you a brief breakdown of second round guys that are notable. Javon Carter's still in the league. Despite having a short burst, Devontae Graham was interesting. Jalen Brunson. Oh, God, we forgot about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's third. Jalen Brunson's third.
3. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Brunson's 3, Trey's 4, Jaren's 5. I feel better about that. Okay, Jalen Brunson. You got Mitchell Robinson. Like I said, Javon Carter, Devontae Graham. Let's see here. Jared Vanderbilt, probably not. DeAnthony Melton, been too injured. Shake Milton.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, so yeah. That's pretty much it. Or the last Antetokounmpo brother, Kostas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mikhail is at 6.
Mikhail, yeah, probably, yeah.
7.
Okay, this is where we're getting into guys that... Are we at Miles already?
I'm not putting Miles on this list, bro. I'm just not doing it.
He puts up the numbers. You gotta...
It's not happening.
Okay.
I refuse.
Okay. Okay. You can talk me into Wendell here. Or Colin. Actually, no. I'm going to say Aiden here at 7.
No, come on. Wendell is better. Anthony Simons notably is in this draft.
So is Michael Porter Jr.
Yep.
I say Porter Jr.
I had Brunson in the top 30. I want it on the record. All right.
Okay.
The answer here is Wendell. What are we talking about?
No, come on. Wendell doesn't even start for his home team
Michael
the whole
Porter
time. Yeah.
After. Fine. You want to do Michael Porter at 7?
Yeah.
I'm not doing Ayton over Wendell. It's just not going to happen.
That's fine. Whatever. We're going to disagree on that one. Aiden after Wendell?
I think Grayson Allen has had a better career than DeAndre Ayton.
No. I'm going to call shit.
He's straight up like a better player right now.
He's not even starting. They're trying to trade him for who? Jonathan Kuminga?
How many teams is Ayton starting on right now? It's because the Lakers have just a crappy front court. It's a circumstantial thing. There are plenty of backups that are better than starters.
I'm still gonna say no. Grayson. Okay. Actually, you know what? No. Neither one of them. Anthony Simons.
No. I don't know, man.
No. Anthony Simons is
I'll
a bucket.
do Simons at 9. I'll do Ayton at 10 just to get you to stop talking about him.
So you're still putting Grayson at 8?
Putting Grayson at 11.
Okay.
8 was Wendell.
Okay, you're right. We've already did
12.
Let's see here. Gary Trent Jr.'s in this draft.
Was Gary Trent Jr. good?
He's put up some good numbers. Mitchell Robinson's also in the draft.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Let's do Mitchell Robinson at 12.
That's fine, yeah.
Time Lord was really good there for a minute.
But he's just not been healthy enough. I can't have him in the top.
Who else? We're going with Kevin Huerter then?
Kevin Huerter's been on some interesting teams.
This has been kind of a crappy draft.
Dante DiVincenzo's better than Kevin Huerter.
Who?
Dante.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dante.
DiVincenzo. All right.
I can't believe Aaron Holiday's in this draft, but no. Were you considering Joshua Okogie?
Huerter's better than Okogie.
We can do Huerter next. We only have one more pick after that, right?
He's the last guy.
Okay, yeah, I feel good about that. You feel good about that?
Trying to make sure we didn't miss anyone here.
Like I said, Bruce Brown, DeAnthony Melton, but he's been too injured. Shake Milton. I don't think so, unless you want to get, spicy with Landry Shamet or Mo Wagner.
Ooh,
I might do Mo over Kevin Huerter. You can talk me into it, Chris.
I don't know. I think I would still go Huerter, to be honest.
Okay. No Jerome Robinson, right? No, wait. So what about Huerter or Sexton? Sexton averaged 24 points at one point in his career.
I
And
think
is a
Herter
elite
was
six.
also like really good for a few years. He was really good for those Atlanta teams. He had that one awesome year.
Well, let's talk
in
about it. Neither one
Sacramento.
of them are great defensively. Herter's a little bit
Herter's a
better.
pretty good defender.
He's
I
okay.
think Sexton is like an active negative.
But Sexton can also is a walking bucket off the bench. Herter can go cold sometimes.
Yeah, I prefer Herter's like probably archetype more. You could definitely make the case for Sexton.
I just think Sexton has more talent, but if you want to go with the archetype of Herter, like I'm not going to argue there, but I think Colin Sexton's just more talented.
We'll call it a tie. We'll put Sexton at 15.
Like oh yeah,
An
that's
honorary lottery
yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's rehash it.
Yeah. All right. So our reordered 2018 redraft, Lucas, is Luka Doncic at 1, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 2, Jalen Brunson at 3, Trae Young at 4, Jaren Jackson Jr. at 5, Mikal Bridges at 6, Michael Porter Jr. at 7, Wendell Carter Jr. at 8, Anthony Simons at 9, DeAndre Ayton at 10, Grayson Allen at 11, Mitchell Robinson at 12, Dante DiVincenzo at 13, and Kevin Huerter / Colin Sexton at 14.
This is actually a pretty loaded draft at the top.
Yeah, the very top, we got some really good players out of it.
The top 5 guys have all made All-Stars already. One of them's made a Defensive Player of the Year. One of them's led the league in assists. One's been to a conference finals. One's been an MVP and NBA champion. And Luka's just Luka. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
all NBA the first 5 years. So like, look, it's a very talented draft.
Pretty quickly, but
I mean, really... look, I mean, you got after Mikal is a high end role player. Porter Jr. is a role player. Carter's a role player. Simons is a spark plug. Aiden's a role player. Allen's a role player. Robinson's a role player.
I think if we tried to rank to 20, though, we'd be
scrapping. Yeah, we'd be scrapping.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean after Sexton, it's looking pretty weak. I do want to say that I hope that Javon Carter gets another shot because he is. I don't get why he's not playing in Chicago because he's like a good defender. He's like a bulldog defender.
They have 1,000 guards, Lucas.
They do. They really need to trade him to somewhere that actually needs him. Just saying.
That's fair. Cool. Yeah, we will do this and we'll keep doing this. This was fun. We'll have probably better drafts to talk about. Or we
might have to save this for next off season. I think that would be the better time to do it. But this is just a tease for you guys for next off season.
That's right. A year from now, we'll see. We might do a couple more before the season. We'll see how we feel.
Well, you only done like what 7 or 8? 8? No, 7.
Yeah.
7. Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But yeah. So. This was fun, Lucas. The Sixers are back. Things are happening. We got training camp now. We got a game in like Abu Dhabi, right? Like
hooray!
Super fun. So go Sixers. We're gonna log off now. Thank you, everyone.
Shout out to the throwback unis. Love it.
Those are sick. I'm very happy that's happening.
I might have to go get one.
Me too. Thank you as always, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the Sixer Sense podcast. I'm Christopher Kline. I'm at Kline NBA on Twitter. That's Lucas Johnson. He's at Coach J_20. We are at Sixer Sense on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you can watch and subscribe to us on YouTube. We highly recommend it. We've got some fun stuff going up on the YouTube account at all times. We are also on Spotify and Apple and Google Play and Audible and all that fun stuff. You can find us on Red Circle if you want. We're everywhere. So please subscribe, follow along, social media, all that fun stuff. And we will talk to you soon about the Sixers. Stuff is happening. Peace out, y'all.
Deuces.